There are very few movies that I'll almost beg people to see in their lifetime. Sunset Boulevard is my first, of course, and Jaws is another one. But upon seeing this film again, The Bluebird, this is up there in the top 5. If you like a spectacle of the bizarre, this is your movie. The film was released in 1940 and largely thought to be 20th Century Fox's answer to the very successful 1939 film, The Wizard of Oz. There's certainly an element of that in this film, more than just a little bit. But behind the scenes, in the short period of time after filming was completed and before its release, there was a real-life assassination attempt on the life of Shirley Temple, and a gruesome and tragic accident that claimed the life of one of the children in the movie. That, to me, makes it one of the most extraordinary films in Hollywood history. Now, both The Wizard of Oz and The Bluebird feature a young girl who leave on a journey to find true happiness, which they both discover, well, don't bother. Both films go from black and white to beautiful Technicolor about a quarter of the way through. Both feature a lovable dog. Oz is Toto and the Bluebird's Tylo. Both have a beautiful figure representing good and light. Both have a very distinct evil character, literally trying to kill the young star. Coincidentally, The Bluebird even features the actress Gail Sondergaard, who was originally up for the role of the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz when the character was still considered to be beautiful. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer opted to go the ugly route and hired Margaret Hamilton. Contrary to popular trivia questions, Shirley Temple was never sought after by MGM to star in The Wizard of Oz. Fox would never consider loaning Shirley Temple out, so at most she may have been mentioned. Zanuck also tried to squelch the speculation that The Bluebird was Fox's answer to The Wizard of Oz, stating that Oz was a musical comedy without any drama or sentiment. The Bluebird is strictly a dramatic fantasy. Yeah. She wanted to go against what was expected of her by the public and play the ghastly little girl.
It's not my fault she's sick.
Well, it's your fault you're selfish.
You have so much that she hasn't, Beetle.
Why do we have to be so poor all the time?
Poor? Us?
Well, we are. We can't even have a party for Christmas.
You have a roof over your head, haven't you? And warm clothes.
These old things.
And plenty to eat.
But nothing I like. Nothing good.
Stop it, Measles. Stop it at once. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I'm not ashamed. I hate it. I hate it all.
Quiet.
One more.
The black and white sequence is clearly set up to show how ungrateful and bratty she is. Now, once Teetle falls asleep that night, maybe because she feels so shitty about herself, she has a dream where she's visited by a very bossy and impatient fairy, one who tells her that true happiness will only be found once she sets out to find the Bluebird of happiness.
Why? You want to be happy, don't you?
Of course. But what do I want with a bluebird?
Oh, what a stupid girl you are.
This creature then conjures up the beautiful character Light to help guide Teetle and her brother, plus a dog and a cat that have been transformed into human form, on their way. But where?
I shall be your guide.
We're not quite sure of where to go.
Why don't you use your head? Hasn't it occurred to you that the Bluebird might be hiding in the past?
Look at the imagery here. It's beautiful. The first stop on their journey is the past. The character Light guides them to the cemetery gates, and she sends them on their way with this warning.
The road to the past lies through here.
But this is the graveyard.
It's the only way to the past. You must leave now.
Aren't you coming?
Oh, no. Light has no business in the graveyard. But I'll be waiting for you. One more thing, and this is most important. It is now nearly midnight.
Ooh.
You must be back within the hour. Otherwise, you will remain in the past forever.
Me too?
Thanks. So they stumble on their grandparents' grave and realize they haven't thought about their grandparents in ages. And the grandparents have been laying there dormant. Well, their ghosts have been laying there dormant because no one's thought of them. So when the kids show up at the grandparents' grave, the grandparents wake up and they're energized.
Somebody must be thinking of us.
children.
It's months and months that you've forgotten us.
Yes, the last time, let me see, it was Easter morning.
And they get to see the kids, and it's a very happy reunion, and they play and all sorts of wonderful things. Now, the cat, the nasty cat, sets the clock back so the kids will be trapped there because the cat doesn't want to go back to being a cat. And the grandparents try to guilt trip the hell out of these two kids so they don't leave, begging them to stay.
Oh my goodness, something's wrong. Toto, we gotta run.
Oh no, don't go, don't go. If you stay, I'll bake you the biggest apple tart you've ever tasted.
We haven't time, Granny, really. Bye. Bye.
Always in such a hurry. It was nice to have them remember us at all.
I suppose so.
Perhaps it won't be so long till the next time.
But the kids trudge on. They make it back to the cemetery gates and off to the next land, the land of luxury, where they can have anything they want. But will they be happy? Guess.
Yes, miss. Just a moment.
Stop it at once. I want to ride the pony.
Oh, be careful, miss.
You get down, Toto. It's my turn to ride. It is not. It is too. You go right on the merry-go-round. Oh, I don't like the merry-go-round. Well, it's my pony. It is not. The luxuries gave it to me.
Ugh, little monsters. I know. Let's leave this place and go to the land of unborn children. I'm not kidding. Watch this.
You're live children, aren't you? Of course we're alive. Aren't you? Oh, no. Not yet. We're waiting to be born. Why don't you get born? Oh, we will, but we have to wait our turn. I'll be born in 3 years. I'm going to be born to a throne.
Forgive the spoilers here, but I can't wait. They come across Thomas Edison.
Would you like to see my discovery?
Oh, yes. What is it?
It doesn't look like much, I know.
They come
But it will
across
save a
the
lot of
yet-to-be-born Abraham Lincoln, who predicts his own death.
But they will. You must make them listen.
They'll destroy me.
And their own future dead sister.
Hello. You're me too. I'm going to be your little sister. What? Our sister? That's wonderful. Yes, in a way. In a way? There'll be 3 of us. We'll have lots of fun. Not for very long. Why not? I'll only be with you a little while. And then you're going away? Yes. Oh, it's hardly worthwhile you're coming at all, is it?
The land of the future, also known as Unborn Baby Land. The big moment arrives and the ship carrying Father Time will call out the lucky children who get to be born. So the main reason I know this movie at all is because my friend Mark Langlois told me the story of little Caryll Ann Ekelund, who is one of the children in this scene. This child.
Hammond. Humboldt.
Here. No, you don't. Come here. This is the 3rd time you've tried to be born before your time. Don't you let me catch you at it again. Now go along. Go along.
4-year-old Caryll Ann Ekelund played a child with no dialogue who tries 3 times to sneak aboard the boat, only to be sent back by Father Time. Sadly, Caryll didn't live long enough to see the film's release. This was Caryll's house, which still stands in the Leimert Park area of Los Angeles. I found an article focusing on the various incidents around Los Angeles on Halloween night of 1939, including 200 Beverly Hills boys who had a tomato and watermelon throwing fight. Various effigies were burned around town, and a near riot with 1,000 youths had to be broken up with tear gas. In nearby Glendale, an 8-year-old boy killed a man with a blow to the head from a paper bag containing flashlight batteries and animal crackers. Fires were lit, eggs thrown at cars, and firecrackers thrown at policemen. This was in 1939. Shirley Temple, in her autobiography, Child Star, told an inaccurate story about Caryll, referring to Caryll as the unfortunate young actress who burned to death during the shooting of The Bluebird when a birthday cake candle had ignited Caryll's party dress. Now, in truth, the outcome was the same, but it didn't occur during the film shoot. Here's a more accurate story. The cute baby who played the part of Angel in Heaven in the motion picture Bluebird was dead today. Caryll Ekelund, 4-year-old child actress who appeared in the picture, succumbed last night to injuries suffered when her dress caught fire from a jack-o'-lantern on Halloween night. The youngster was playing with the lantern in her room. Before her mother could reach her, Caryll's clothing was a mass of flames. Shirley Temple recalled the story. With 5 older brothers acting as pallbearers, she was interred at Forest Lawn Cemetery in Glendale. Her burial shroud was the unborn child toga from her Bluebird role. Interestingly, the song sung at her graveside by a quartet was Caryll's favorite song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, from The Wizard of Oz. Like any famous person, Shirley had her share of lunatics who were obsessed with her, trying to extort her or even threaten her life. This incident came close. About a month before the film's release, The Bluebird was dramatized as a half-hour radio show on December 24, 1939. It took place at the Earl Caryll Theater on Sunset Boulevard. This marked Shirley Temple's radio debut. Shirley mentioned that while she was in her dressing room, she looked out the window. While her mother was fussing with her hair before the broadcast, she noticed a woman with a mean look on her face peering through the windows. Spotting the child star, the woman began shaking her fist. Black's mother called the police, who in turn informed the FBI. The broadcast went on. Shirley was on stage singing Someday You'll Find Your Bluebird when she noticed 2 men in suits coming down the aisles. The woman who had been in the window was in the front row, and FBI agents got to her just as the woman pulled a gun out of her purse and pointed it at Shirley. The next day, an FBI agent called. The woman's gun had been loaded, and she had indeed intended to kill me for stealing her daughter's soul. The story goes, several hours before my birth, she had a baby girl, and at the very hour of my birth, her baby had died. My soul was in fact her daughter's. To avenge the theft, she set out to kill my body. Thing is, the birth date the woman was using was 1929. It was off by 1 year, so somebody else had the stolen soul. Why the woman did not pull the trigger before being roughly seized by the 2 men is hers to answer and mine to bless. Disarmed and lifted bodily, she made no sound audible over the orchestra music, nor did the orchestra leader, his back to the disturbance, miss a beat. Take a look at this fire scene from the movie. The nasty cat speaks to her friends who represent the different species of trees. The various species of trees were given the task of killing little Shirley Temple and her friends.
Pedro, those children must die.
Oh, Christ! I'll beat them with my bats!
We'll do away with them.
That's right.
Go quickly.
Both the cinematography and special effects were nominated for Academy Awards, but both lost. The film was released on January 15, 1940, and the ticket sales were dismal. Almost all of the cast were given good reviews for their performances, but the public stayed away in droves. The Los Angeles Times called it a screen masterpiece. Others called it charmingly different and colorful and enchanting. The public couldn't deal with the beastly little Shirley Temple. Interesting to note, Shirley Temple herself wanted to go nastier with the role, but the producers held her back. This was the first Shirley Temple film to barely break even. The Bluebird wasn't a commercial success, but neither was The Wizard of Oz when it came out. But audiences ultimately found it, and it's a beloved classic, whereas The Bluebird has sort of faded into obscurity. But don't let it. The effects are incredible, actually downright terrifying. Shirley Temple behaving as a nasty, spoiled brat is a treat. And it was the unofficial end of Shirley Temple's little girl persona. I want to thank Mark Langlois for suggesting this story, and Dave DeCaro for all the information and photographs you supplied as well. It's very much appreciated, as is your attention and your time. If you have a couple of bucks to spare, please sign up to my Patreon page. The link is below in the description, so I can keep this going. In the meantime, until next time. You heard me.
Stop it, I say!
Yes, miss. Just a moment.
Stop it at once! I want to ride the pony!
Oh, my God. It's a wig!